A new way to play the tankiest deck in the Pokemon TCG. Roll the intro. What is going on, everybody? Hitmonchan here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game, online deck tech. Today, I wanted to show you my brand new Hisuian Goodra VSTAR deck paired with Arceus VSTAR and Espeon VMAX. This deck is incredibly fun to play. I think this is the new way to play Hisuian Goodra VSTAR. It is super powerful, super enjoyable, and it beats a lot of the best decks right now. So I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it here. Hisuian Goodra VSTAR. I love this card. You love this card. We all love this card, and it is not a surprise to anybody why it's so good. Rolling Iron for a water, metal, and a colorless does 200, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 80 less damage from attacks. Incredible. And Moisture Star, the V-Star power, is an ability that just lets you heal all damage from your Hisuian Goodra V-Star. Easy peasy, just like that. Most of the time, though, we're going to be using Arceus VSTAR's Starbirth to set up in combination with that Trinity Nova attack to power up our Hisuian Goodra VSTAR. And now this might look like a pretty standard, tanky Goodra, Arc Goodra, Arc Dawn kind of list, but we do have one more special partner, and that is Espeon V and Espeon VMAX. Espeon VMAX has that Solar Revelation ability that prevents all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to all of your Pokemon that have energy attached, so no damage counter spread in the form of Sableye, no get one-hit KOs from Yveltal, as long as this Espeon is in play. And that is basically the bread and butter of this deck. We also have a Radiant Gardevoir with that Loving Veil ability in case we don't want to use that Espeon and we just want to take 20 less instead. 2 Evo Incense, 3 Hyper Potion to help us continuously heal our damage, 4 Quick Ball, 3 Ultra Ball to switch, and now we're playing 2 Crystal Cave combined with 1 Path to the Peak. That Path to the Peak, though it does limit our Espeon's ability, it is really, really strong when you're playing against decks that don't expect you to play the Path to the Peak, so they don't really worry about keeping their lost vacuums. Like, I've had a bunch of games against Mew VMAX where you drop that Path to the Peak when they don't expect it, and they just can't do anything. We're also playing 1 Avery because I think Avery is a really good card to have right now, especially when you're playing against decks like Mew and Lost Box. 2 Boss, 3 Colress, 1 Judge. Judge is a very, very nice card to play now as well, because it just kind of stops your opponent from using Oranguru, and just shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 4 is never bad. We also play that in combination with 1 Marnie and 3 Melony to help us accelerate that water energy from our discard back onto our Goodras and Arceus's. 1 Roxanne in case we need to, disrupt our opponent a little bit, and 1 Serena to boss up V Pokemon, as well as thin down our hand and draw more cards. As for tools, we have 1 Big Charm to buff our Goodra up even more, 2 Big Parasol just in case that path gets dropped and our Espeon's ability is no longer active, 3 Double Turbo Energy, 4 Metal, 1 Psychic, 5 Water. Now you're thinking, why the 1 Psychic Energy? Well, that 1 Psychic lets you attack with Espeon VMAX's Max Mindstorm to do 60 damage for each energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. That just straight up knocks out a Lugia V-Star, no problem, in case you need to use it. And it actually lets you attack with Radiant Gardevoir as well, which is a similar attack in Psychic, being this attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So in case you need to throw in a single prizer attacker into the mix, Radiant Gardevoir can fill that role as well. And now the deck list is pretty straightforward, but it has a lot of cool text and a lot of cool things you can do. So I'm very, very excited to show you Hisuian Goodra VSTAR's power right now. We get to call the coin flip here. Tails never fails. Unfortunately, it failed us, but that's okay. Hopefully they let us go first. Boom. See? You do want to go first with this deck, and we have a pretty decent starting hand. It would be good to get a Goodra down, but we also need to get an Arceus. So if we can top deck another basic search, that would be optimal. But then again, we wouldn't have any energy, so, might be a little bit difficult here. We need to top deck a quick ball, or an Arceus, or a Goodra V in order to make this hand pretty good. But for now, I'm not too mad. We're just going to, see what the game deals us. We're going to see the cards that we are dealt. Arceus VSTAR isn't bad. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get our Goodra down right now, but that's okay because we can actually drop down our Arceus V, make sure we have our fellas in the deck, Espeon in case we need it. We're playing against a Lost Box deck, it seems, judging by the Oranguru. Could also be against Kyurem Palkia V-Star Kyurem VMAX could also be the matchup that we're going to face. And now, we're just going to have to wait and see what my opponent decides to play. You know, there's that Battle VIP pass, so we're going to be able to take a look and see what exactly my opponent is playing here. There's the Comfy, there's the Greninja. It's going to be a Lost Box deck. Oh my gosh, it's Goodra! It's Goodra! Lost Zone Goodra. Okay, very, very cool. I do like Lost Zone Goodra. I don't think it's as good as Art Goodra, but I do think it's really, really interesting. It's really the most interesting way to play the deck for sure. Now that's kind of cool. They're getting rid of that Psychic Energy because they have that Sableye in there, no doubt. Now I'm interested to see what happens here for sure. There's that Escape Rope. I mean, you know what? Getting that Arceus V into the active, I'm happy. That did me more good than it did you for sure, opponent. Definitely. Getting rid of a Drapion V, not going to need that in this matchup. But I am really excited to see how this matchup plays out. That could very well be it for my opponent. Not getting another Comfy down is a bit difficult here. You do want to, if you're going second, you want to get that Cramorant attack off. There's a Temple of Sinnoh, which is a little bit annoying, I will say. Dropping that big Parasol, which doesn't matter to us. And my opponent likely going to just pass here. We will go into our Arceus V. We have to Melony. We don't have any choice. And we're going to bring that Espeon down. Quick Ball away the boss. Grab ourselves a Goodra. We're going to Starbirth and grab ourselves... We only have one double turbo in the deck. Okay. Grab that one double turbo. Grab that Path to the Peak, I think. I think that's our best play here. We attach. We Path. And we Trinity Nova. We take a prize, which is pretty good. And then we can start setting up our Goodra here. I guess we'll just do this because we have water in play. Yeah. We'll start getting our Goodra set up. And now hopefully off that Colress experiment next turn, we can find ourselves the Espeon VMAX. There's a double turbo, which is good. Another reason why I like the Arc Goo better is because you have double turbo and you can play Hyper Potions. Well, my opponent's got the first Goodra V-Star here. They're going into it. They don't have enough cards in the Lost Zone. They can't use Mirage Gate. So that's where this all kind of falls apart, might I say. Because they're going to need to get, unless they're playing Melonies, you know, they can conceal cards away that water energy. Do they have the Melony plus energy in hand? They're playing a Colress, so they're really going to be hoping for a lot here. And now I don't know if their hoping is going to do too much, but I'm interested to see. They got 5 cards in the Lost Zone. They got to play Comfies now, or they can play a Lost Vacuum, get rid of their own training core. That's an option as well. So we're going to see. They're going to scoop up that bigger Ninja, play it back. They're going to go digging a little bit more and see what they can find, but they can't use a Melony here. You got to keep that in mind. They have to either get a Lost Vacuum or they have to find switch Comfy bunch of shenanigans here. They're getting that other energy back. And now they haven't used a V-Star power though. That's important to note because they can just Moisture Star all the damage off of the Goodra. There's the Cram, and now do they have a switch to at least get chip damage onto an Arceus here? That is my question, and that's what I'm not sure is going to happen. There's that Comfy that they're going to put down. There's a switch. Do they go right into the Cram though? That's what we're going to see. No, they go into the Comfy, so they're going to try and get that, they're getting rid of Mirage Gate, so they got 6 cards in the Lost Zone currently. And we're just going to have to take a peek and see what they do. Attaching that other energy, and they might just end up passing here. There's another switch. Oh, they're going into the Cram, and they're going to spit it instantly, doing 110 damage here. You know what? Not too bad. We can evolve our Goodra, and we can Colress Experiment. We'll grab the Hyper Potion for sure. We can even get another Goodra set up, and get that other Colress, I guess. I mean, we can even heal our Arceus, which I think I kind of want to do. Just get rid of that. Heal up our Arceus fully. And we'll play that Goodra down. And we're just going to go for another Trinity Nova here. 180 damage. We can get our second Goodra set up. So now having 2 Goodras to go between is going to be very advantageous for us here. Get another water energy, which is also good in case we need to Melony. Throughout the game, we will be able to use Espeon VMAX if we need to. I haven't been able to find it yet, though. However, my opponent's got to find a Metal-type energy in order to use this Goodra, as well as a switching card. So they still have a little bit of work cut out for them. There's that Metal energy. Do they have the switching card? I mean, they could always Flower Selecting, Mirage Gate, manually retreat. It's always an option, too. But we're going to wait and see what they decide to do. Now, we've used quote-unquote. We have a boss in the discard. We have 1 more boss and 1 Serena left. Now, that's going to be interesting for us, because we can boss around that Goodra and try and help, you know, negate its effect of Rolling Iron here. If we can do that, it'll be an easier time for us. But we're only going to be doing 100 damage with Arceus here, so it's not going to be so good for us if they just Moisture Star. They're going to escape rope us. They're doing that 200 damage. I'm just gonna go into Espeon because that seems like the obvious choice, right? Yeah, I'll give him the knockout. That's fine with me, because I don't want to get damage on any of these other Pokemon. I want Gardevoir to stay. Arceus is the ideal one to tank damage, but if you want to get Espeon gone, that's fine. I don't think they're going to be playing any Sableye. Now, them benching that Goodra definitely changes things, because we can actually target that one down and take it out in a couple turns, and we can force them to use Moisture Star on one, keeping another one a little bit, what's it called? A little bit more vulnerable, you could say. They're going to get back a Psychic and a Water Energy, and just that, and that alone. They got to go for that Mirage Gate here, I think. I think that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to Rolling Iron, and they actually can't knock out Espeon. I miscalculated myself, but for the better, because of Radiant Gardevoir. And now we can do a Colress experiment. We'll grab Goodra and 2 Hyper Potions. That's all we really need here. And now we can go into this Goodra. Player self-stop Water Energy. We switch, and we start bringing the Rolling Iron of Pain. 120 damage onto this Goodra. They can hit into us only doing, what's it called? Only doing 100 damage. We can hit back into them. They can Moisture Star, hit into us. Hopefully by that time we'll find our other energy at a Hyper Potion, and then we should be in a really good spot here. Getting that Psychic energy back, and now we gotta wait and see what my opponent decides to do here. They're running a little thin in their deck. They've only got 12 cards remaining. They're going to start powering that other Goodra up. But they lost zone to Goodra VSTAR. So I don't know if they have another Goodra VSTAR in the deck, if they're only playing a 2-2 line like we are here in this Hitmonchan deck. So I'm a bit curious to see. They're going to Rolling Iron us just for a solid 100 damage. Alright, respectable. Nothing crazy. We can go for a Colress experiment. Grab Melony, Big Charm, and Marnie could be good down the line too. And now, I'm guessing the thing to do, let's just take an Evo Incense peek. We'll grab Espeon. We have that 1 energy left, so we could get a Hyper Potion off here. Or next turn, we can go to get a Hyper Potion, and then we can Melony. And Training Core. We can do that next turn. But do I put the Big Charm on? Does that ever matter? If they're doing 100 consistently? No, it does not. So Big Charm goes on this one. And we're not going to play the Espeon in case they have a boss. We're just going to Rolling Iron. And do 120. They got that 240 on there. Alright. They're going to have to Moisture Star here. And that's all part of our plan, because we are going to be able to effectively deal with that situation. They're getting a lot more energy into their hands so they can conceal the cards away. And now they might find a Sableye. If they do find their Sableye, we could be in a bit of a pickle. But there's that other Hisuian Goodra VSTAR. And now they're going to attach energy. They're going to start powering up. I'm fully expecting that Moisture Star to come out here, because I don't understand why they'd be saving it for a later turn. They really should be doing that. If they're not, then I think we're going to be in a good spot. There's the Moisture Star coming out, healing all that damage. It's the good thing about not playing Art Goo, playing Lost Goo. And then they could just Rolling Iron again. All right. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Get another Melony. Just awesome for us because we can just Hyper Potion this away. And we can Melony and Energy back on. And we can actually Crystal Cave if we want. But that's going to make our life a little bit harder. Just a tad tougher. And, I mean, let's think about this, right? They can do 2 attacks and knock us out here. We can do 2 attacks and knock them out, force them to retreat. They force us to retreat. But does the Crystal Cave really help? I mean, yeah, it makes them have to take another hit, so we're going to Crystal Cave. Yeah, we had to do that. Unfortunately, it helps them too, but because we have that extra 20 damage up on them, we're going to be dealing more damage effectively. This Crystal Cave, this one Crystal Cave hit makes it so they can knock us out in 3 hits rather than just 2 hits, which is really, really good, and it doesn't change our math at all, because we still need 3 hits to knock it out, I believe. Yeah, we do another 120. Oh no, it does change our math too. Regardless of it, we needed that Crystal Cave to stay in the game. That's what we needed. Now we have the leg up on Hyper Potions here. Unless they're playing any Fantinas or anything crazy like that, we should be in the clear. There's a Temple of Sinnoh. It's really not going to do too much to us. And another Rolling Iron coming out. They're only doing 100 damage. I mean, we can drop a big Parasol on this fella now, just to be safe. And we can also, we could just go for a Judge. Limit their options a little bit. I think that's kind of what I want to do. Maybe find that other energy. No other energy, but getting a Roxanne and a boss in our hand is good for me, for sure. Rolling Iron. And now, because they bumped our Crystal Cave, we're back in the game. And Radiant Gardevoir is still in play. It's still keeping us alive in this matchup. They're only going to do 100. They're going to be off. They can't Sableye us thanks to that big Parasol. Even if they drop the Sableye and like threaten a vacuum, we just drop the Espeon and they can't do anything about it. So we're in a pretty good spot. We can knock out this Goodra. They haven't attached another energy yet though to this Goodra on the bench, which is a little concerning for them. However, they have that Psychic Energy, you know, access to it, so that's okay. The unfortunate thing about this here is they can just Rolling Iron. All good with me. Another Parasol, we don't really need it. Now, I think the play here is we boss this Goodra. We do 200 on it. They hit us, we knock it out, and then we have to bring up the Goodra again somehow. I think that's the secret tech we need to do here. They're going to take a knockout before us. Yeah, I think that's what we had to do that. I think that was the correct play, as long as Serena's in the deck because I didn't check. But hopefully, if it's not, we get it off the prizes. And that's my hope. There's a Sableye. Air Balloon, okay, interesting. So they can try and go for a Sableye here, but they're not going to be able to because of the big Parasol. And I might have just realized that. No, they're going into the Sableye. Do they have the Lost Vacuum? I'm very curious. In that case, I mean, we should have put Espeon down, but there's no way to know if they're going to, you know, have that Lost Vacuum. Right? Like, that's the tricky spot. I was fearing a boss to mess up the prize trade. Do they have the Lost Vacuum in hand? They're looking pretty happy. Oranguru, do they have it? This is very, no, they do not. That's the scoop. They just realized we had the Parasol on, we had the Espeon as backup, and Art Goo takes down, I mean, Lost Zone View. So what do you think of my new take on Arceus Goodra? I really love this deck. I think this deck is super fun to play and super strong. I do have a couple changes I would make after playing it and playing it at my local tournaments. I don't know if Espeon VMAX is the correct choice. It's the choice I like the most. The other choice is you go for the Mr. Mime, Mr. Rhyme, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Mr. Rhyme here with the screen cleaner one. Yes, this one has the same ability as Espeon VMAX, but it's a single prizer. So Galarian Mr. Rhyme could be good. Like, this could be the answer because you having a triple prize liability on the board is bad, but it is also, you also have the option of a third attacker, and using the Psychic Energy slot for Gardevoir as well also gives you that option. So you never know when the Gardevoir Psychic box Espeon style will come in handy. Even Zen Shot could be good too to finish off a Pokemon that you couldn't knock out with Goodra, because don't forget, Rolling Iron only does 200. You can't even knock out base Vs with that. So that's kind of a dilemma. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the deck. I think it's a lot of fun and it is like very refined. I've played this deck a lot and I really enjoy it. So with all that said and done, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what do you think of this deck? What do you like, what do you dislike, what would you keep, and what would you change? And be sure to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to the Hitmonchanting channel because I post 2 new Pokemon trading card game videos every single week. And yeah, with all that said and done, Hitmonchanting out.